Hello everybody, this is Rage, and welcome back to some more Pokemon News! Okay, today is a special episode of Pokemon News because we have a guest star, my cute dog Serenity, so you're not just getting my reactions, you're also getting my dog's reactions. Isn't that right, Serenity? She's scratching herself. Anywho, I already know one of the Pokemon that are in this little video thing because it was leaked on Coral, and now I'm going to give my opinions on that one, but I'm going to react because I don't know what else is going on there. Actually, I know two of them, but still. Pokemon Sun and Moon, amazing evolutions. I like the music. And here's my friend Type Null, and he becomes Silvally. Oh my god, I love Silvally. Silvally looks flippin' awesome. He's a giant dog thing. He looks like Arceus. If for some reason, or Arceus, or however you pronounce it. It changes type while holding certain items. That's his ability. He's sort of like Arceus in that way. Hey, he's like Arceus Jr. He even has his own attack, depending on which item he's holding, depends on what the element it is. And here comes my favorite guy, Hakamo. I love Hakamo. He looks cool. And then we have Kamo. But yeah, this guy looks flippin' awesome. He reminds me a lot of Charmeleon or Guilmon from Digimon. I don't know why, but he looks awesome. And Kamano, or Kamano, as I'm just gonna call him, he looks flippin' cool. And Cleaning Scales, that's a cool move. And Bounsweet evolves into something apparently. Oh my god, it's a little girl! It is Steenie. Cute. And Serenia. Don't worry, I'll figure out these names sooner or later. This is pretty cool. What do you think, Serenity? She really doesn't care. Unique ability, Queenly Majesty. That's Serenity's ability. Basically. And unique attack, Trope Kick. And we finally get the evolution into Cutiefly, Ribombee. We saw this in a trailer only for a few seconds one time. We didn't get a good enough close look at it. But I like that. And we have Muck and Grimer, my two favorite poison types now. Poison and Dork type. I flippin' love Muck's design. Oh my god, Grimer looks cool. Grimer looks amazing even. But Muck. Oh my god, Muck. Oh, oh my god. Muck. Introducing new trainers. These are basically the trainer types. Oh, never mind. Olivia. These aren't new trainer types. These are the people who run the island challenges. So I guess as Olivia is maybe like, I don't know, the second or third, and Ilimia. Ellen and I's in capitals get confusing sometimes. I'm just gonna call her Lime. Yes, Lime. Okay, that was flippin' awesome. Let's go to the Pokemon website to figure all this junk out. So, we have a lot to cover here, so I'm just gonna get straight to the point. We have Silvally, the synthetic Pokemon, the evolution of Type Null. Well, and this guy, basically, he was basically created to oppose a threat from long past. And it says here that it has an ability that no other Pokemon has, even though it's basically Arceus' ability. Arceus has an ability that allows it by depending on which type of item it's holding depends on what type it is. Like if Arceus is holding the fire plate, it becomes the fire type. Same with the water plate, but with water types, and grass plate was to turn them into grass type. And it even has another move, and they even also say that multi-attack, a move that only Silvally can learn, it basically, depending on what item it's holding, depends on what type the attack is. But this is the same thing as Arceus' Judgment Attack, which basically is the same thing. So, I think this guy has a lot to do with Arceus. Arceus is basically the Pokemon that created the world of Pokemon, so basically God, the God of Pokemon. Even though in the Pokedex entries he said he has 1,000 arms. but he is a horse. Maybe they're talking about the unknown, whatever. Anyways, when N-type Null finds a trainer he trusts, he breaks it deliberately. He basically breaks his helmet off, which basically makes him slower, and conceals his heightened abilities. Basically, when that thing smashes, he becomes flipping really fast, and he can use his heightened abilities now. This guy is really trustworthy. This guy will protect his trainer with his life. He's like a guard dog of guard dogs. I'm definitely naming this thing Serenity, and I do not know if it has a gender or not, but I'm naming it after my dog because she's adorable and she's awesome. Anywho, it is a wild nature but it will only obey its trainer, and it will only obey its trainer that it trusts. Well, it doesn't only obey it, but you know what I mean. So yeah, this guy is pretty dang cool. Well, and as I said, depending on which type of item he's holding, depends on what type he will transform into. So if he's holding I know this is probably not the item he's going to hold, but I'm going to say like fire plate. These parts of his body that they're I think apparently there maybe will glow red, blue for water, or green for grass, etc., etc., etc. Let's get into my favorite fighting and dragon types, shall we? Well, they're the only fighting dragon types. So hey, you know Vikings and gladiators and stuff? This is basically Pokemon equivalent to it. We have Hakamo. Instead of the Jamango, that usually pals around with other Jamango, this guy breaks up from the pack and challenges every Pokemon it can see. This guy, as long as there's an area where he can find Pokemon to battle, this guy will be there, dancing and around, and unleashing a powerful war cry to challenge his opponent. And then these scales on him, always, by the way, anyway, I was about to say something, but I'll also save it after I say this. These scales, yeah, when they're damaged, they fall off, but they rapidly grow back. And they actually, really like it when basically, Hakamos love to show off how many scales they lost, even though, they grow back really quickly. They basically brandish it as like some sort of epic emblem of awesomeness as to others, as to boast about its victory. As I said, this reminds me of a lot of Charmander. He looks like an armor-plated Charmander, combined with Guilmon. I don't know why, but I get a lot of Digimon and Pokemon vibes from it. He's like that one partner that you always have beside you, who is always there for you. The best friend Pokemon, basically. Something like Pikachu, but a lot more dragon. This is our first Earth Dragon and fighting type. I am so happy about that. And I'm definitely putting this on my team because I flippin' love its design. I love it. This is probably my favorite dragon type. Okay, so at first I didn't like Kamo. At first, but after reading this description, I actually quite like this guy. I like the Middle Evolution's design better, or Hakamo, but I actually quite like this guy. He's like the Greymon / Charizard. I don't know why, I get a lot of Digimon vibes from this guy, his evolutionary line, except for Jamango for some reason. Anywho, legend has it that this guy, his scales are to get rid of a dark evil or something, and after it's, trained as a Hakamo, and evolves into Kamo, it goes back to its birthplace to watch over every Jamango from afar, basically being their guardian protector of awesomeness, even though he's really loud with those jangly tails. Well, this reminds me a lot of, some cultures have, these jingling stuff to get rid of evil spirits. This reminds me a lot of that, a lot of those, monks with jingly stuff to get rid of evil spirits. Anywho, legend has it that it's trying to get rid of this darkness, or whatever, and the reason why it seeks out battles is to gain power to defeat it. When it detects someone, it jingles around on its scales, to announce its presence. It has no desire to battle against weak Pokemon, because he's a very nice guy. He is really good at uppercuts. Do not face this guy in an uppercut fight. It can generate his fist, by raising its arm aloft, it can generate a force powerful enough to change the face of the surrounding landscape. Basically, he lifts up its fist, pushes it out a little bit. Kaboom! Goodbye, landscape! This guy's really cool. Well, and his clanging scales attack, like basically, he rubs his scales together to making a great clamor, or as it says in the description, and it lowers his defense when it does this. But I really like this guy, the Scaly Pokemon. I really like this guy, he's cool. Okay, so we have the Bee-Fly Pokemon, Ribombee. This guy is the evolution of Cutiefly. And this guy's basically the bee Pokemon, but it's based off of a Bee-Fly. I don't know that much about Bee-Flies, except actually not that much stuff. But anywho, like a bee, they do not like getting rained on, but they also do spread pollen around everywhere. And these pollen balls, called pollen puffs, can paralyze people, and even cause dizziness, and even be extremely relaxing. This guy usually uses his paralyzed and dizziness, his puffs, to attack enemies. And when you see a Ribombee, in a field of flowers, or is visiting a field of flowers, you can expect fair weather ahead. Basically, nice weather, no rain. I don't have that much to say about this thing, but it's sort of cute. Now, excuse my dog, because I over-obsess about my dog way too much. But anywho, Bug Fairy, let's get on to the next one. So we have Bounswee's evolution, Stina. I think it's supposed to be a pun on stem or Stina. Anyway, I'm just gonna call it Stina, the fruit Pokemon. And this thing right here is apparently called a Calyx? Calyx? I don't know. But anywho, Bouncy was all timid and shy and all that stuff, and it didn't have a hard calyx that protected it from getting, apparently, I think this word says stabbed, apparently, by other Pokemon. Yeah, I can see that happening with, like, Pokemon like Kabutops, but that's from ancient Pokemon, but whatever. This thing is now more outgoing and likes to play with other Pokemon, but upon evolving, it gets a tomboy-like personality, and living with one is quite a hassle. When it moves around, its Calyx thingamajig extracts nearby objects, and Steenie doesn't even care. And the way it attacks and it does some pretty cool attacks by hitting its opponent with his Calyx, extend, and attacking it with his hard legs, which usually does the trick, which is pretty cool. Well, I really like the design of this one. So we have Serena, and this is sort of a control freak sort of Pokemon. Only the strongest of Steenies can evolve into this Pokemon. When it evolves, it's with the blessings of another Steenie, which doesn't make any sense to me, sort of. I sort of understand. And it protects the other Bounswees, since they basically can't protect themselves easily. Anywho, this thing is a kicking machine. Hitmonlee, meet your match. This thing is also very controlative, and it will basically attack any people or Pokemon who have evil in their mind and punish them forthwith. Get it? Because it's a queen sort of Pokemon. And will even turn on its trainer, or if they're not fully in sync, or if the trainer orders it to use a non-super effective move, such as it's telling it to use Vine Whip on a water-type Pokemon, and that is not even hard rock-type. This is a pretty cool Pokemon. I like the design, and it said if you touch this little part here that sort of looks like a flower bud, but it loses its power apparently. And Drop Kick basically is a move that only it can learn, and using all the powers it learned from a Steenie, it basically deals an extremely powerful kick that lowers the opponent's attack by showering it with his blazing hot kicks. It can have the ability Queenly Majesty. It is so intimidating that it prevents opponents from using priority moves. Almost burp there. Using priority moves. Let me translate to you what a priority move is. Basically a move that is guaranteed to always go first. Moves like Quick Attack. if this thing has this ability, quick attack will have no effect. Now, I do not know if this will also count for or Pokemon that have an ability that makes it go first, like if a Pokemon like Silvally has its ability Prankster, which status-afflicting moves like Will-O-Wisps always goes first. So, I do not know if Queenly Majesty, he will negate Prankster's ability. I do not know that. I really am curious about this. But all I know is that this thing is going to rock the TCG, aka the competitive Pokemon on system thing. So, yeah, I know this image is not fully loaded yet, but I don't really care. This is Alolan Grimer there, and this guy, I don't know what it is with Alola, but a lot of Pokemon get the ability. Sorry for that, I somehow sort of twisted my leg a little bit. I have no idea how I did, but I did. I don't even remember what I was talking about. It hurt so bad. Okay. Anywho, yeah, this is Alolan Grimer, and the image already went away. Herb. Anywho, the reason why these Grimers are so different and have, I'll be right back when the images are loaded. Either Grimer doesn't like me, but because I like Grimer, or am I just having bad luck with this recording today? First, my leg started hurting extremely badly, and I thought I twisted it or something, and then the page wouldn't load. Anywho, Grimer, I don't know what it is with the Alola region, but a lot of Kanto Pokemon get the Glutton ability, and, well, just Rattata so far, and Raticate, I think. And Grimer and Muck. Oh, no, Muck has it, but a lot of Pokemon get a really gluttonous and a lot of stuff. The reason why Grimer is Alolan, has an Alolan form, is because after the population rose in Alola, they needed something to get rid of the garbage. They sent in a flip ton of Grimers, and they basically Pac-Man all that garbage, and became what we have here. These things that look like teeth, you probably think they would be like rocks, because how could Grimer grow teeth? Try saying that 5 times fast. They're actually, in fact, residual toxins from the garbage it eats, which have hardened and crystallized. Basically, these are basically the essence of garbage crystallized. There's no known method to break down these crystals. Direct contact with them presents a danger. Basically, don't touch these things. When they don't have any garbage to eat, they'll eat other manufactured objects. Next. And these things are in a lot of garbage processing plants. And I really love this design. I really love it. But now let's... Actually, this reminds me of that Pokemon Fusion. The color of Grimer, it reminds me of that Pokemon Fusion's website. If you, combine a Magnemite with a Grimer, with a Magnemite face, it basically becomes this gray color. I love that. I really like the design of that Fusion, which was just basically Magnemite's face pasted on the Grimer, or Muck, and it looked really cool. The gray looked really, really cool, and this looks really dang cool. Now let's go see Muck. And now we have here my main man, Muck. 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 Okay, you know the draft. Anywho, this Muck has basically will eat anything and rage without pausing. If it feels the sharp pains of hunger, it runs amok. Get it? Amok, and it's a Alolan Muck, so it's a short term for Pokemon. It's thought that its vicious appetite stems from its inability to maintain its energy levels without a constant influx of toxins. Toxins have accumulated in Alolan Muck's body from its steady diet of various waste products and manufactured materials. This is basically made a chemical change in Muck, and I guess that also somehow made him pink, blue, yellow, and, well, green, in gray or whatever, green-grayish thing. Alolan Muck also has these poisonous, deadly crystals, not deadly, but poisonous, is all over his body. So yeah, it's not restricted to his mouth anymore, which makes it look cooler. It also is all over his body. It's as if it's becoming a rock poison type Pokemon almost. It's like it's evolving to actually gain a physical form besides sludge, which I really dang like. Just like imagine a giant sludge creature with like these poisonous crystals like they have here, or like for claws. That'd be cool. They even use them to attack enemies. He's like fangs or claws. He actually uses them like actual fangs or claws. And yes, these things are still highly toxic, but they can get loose very easily and fall off, which still makes them really dangerous. So yeah. Don't touch these things. No touchy. They are no touchy. They basically produce and store, both Alohlen and Grimer Muck produce and store their toxins within their bodies. So instead of Grimer and Muck always having their toxins out in the open and stinking up the place, they basically won't have that disgusting aroma. Aroma means scent. So basically these are much more scent-friendly versions, just not touch-friendly. Yeah. I really love the design of Alolan Muck and all these other Pokemon. These Pokemon just look flippin' amazing. And I love the new trainers. They look cool. I really like the designs for the new trial captains. I don't have that much to say about them, but whatever. Anywho, what do you think of this, Randy? She really doesn't care. Anywho, this has been Rage and my cute little dog Serenity, and I'll be saying one last thing. All these Pokemon are flippin' awesome, and I'll be saying, see you on the next level, gamers.